First of all, before I start, I'm going to say thank you for everyone who viewed my previous video. I did not expect 150 views. I was expecting that many. I was only expecting I had 20-30 views, and in fact I am very happy for that. And also, thank you for subscribing. So let's get into today's video. So the Siege of Dundee began. The night before, the king razed the city to the ground, sending balls of fire and lightning bolts into the city, incinerating the town, and destroying any bodies that would be used to become zombies. And this was a fruitless effort. Zargothrax already had an army, he didn't need more, and it was enough to already take the city. During the night, our party did various tasks to help around the castle. Vanadar helped take watch. He patrolled the city walls and the inner castle walls, raising morale towards the soldiers, as being a paladin she is very high respected. Not a high rank as the officers there, but she carried the same level of respect, and people treat her that way. Being a paladin is an honour, and she started to realise the magnitude of the honour throughout the campaign. He then decided it best to use her efforts and help cooking. She helped prepare food, she used presentations to make it taste nicer, and helped do all the cleaning and everything needed to keep the morale up. She isn't a frontline healer or talent specialised in healing abilities, but she did her best to help in that section. She helped with preparing bandages, the odd healing spell, very high level ones being a warlock. It was appreciated. Of course, you get what you're given, and any help is a blessing. Jump on Drivo, he had a hard day rocking. He took off his shoes, had a little stretch, and went to bed. He thought he needed a long rest. He wanted to sleep, stretch his legs, have a coffee, have a wine, and see everybody next morning. He thought, if I'm not full form, because I didn't sleep well, I bet it's going to be a hindrance. And he played the odd song, and morning played more songs, but while I was playing songs, he forgot there was a meeting to attend. Penham unfortunately couldn't attend this meeting, as he did not return to the castle. He was out with a scouting party, and he got attacked by trolls and underdoggers, and he couldn't make it back. This was mainly because the player couldn't make the session, so I wrote it how he was on patrols and scouting missions to figure out the party's strengths and the enemy's strengths. And I then worked this back into the next session when he came back again. The morning came, and everybody agreed a meeting was needed. The generals gathered around, the wizards, the clerics, and our party, all here at a small table, ready to discuss strategics and plans. Our party knew about slight updated version of the prophecy of Aslov, and they were scared to share it, as it really sets a forbidding tone over the meeting. They knew if Dundee fell, the world would cease to exist, as Dundee is something referred to as a font of magic and power, and all wizards who can access these fonts must have their magic abilities enabled and advanced to a higher tier, making wizards only trained for 10 years equivalent of wizards trained for 30, and a high power wizard like zargothrax. This would be not a thing you want to happen. And there was discussions how there was seals on this ground placed to protect the world from an older ancient evil. And it is believed that Zargothrax wanted to break this evil to break these seals to get more powerful. And it's not something the party wanted either. So they could defend the city to their dying breaths, and that's what they planned to do. Because the city could not fall. If the city fell, Zargothrax would reign eternally. Agreed. Warnings must be sent out to the nearest cities. This was so that you can give time to cities like Alberthirdy and Inverness to prepare, as they knew they'll be the next targets after Dundee fell. Alberthirdy, being the great holy citadel of Mijakow, had a wealth of artifacts, magical items, knowledge beyond the ages, access to ancient spirits who could guide people to the next generation. With Inverness, there was an ancient trio. 3 wise men who forsaken their magic and power to access infinite knowledge. With this infinite knowledge, they could find out anything they wanted within research. These were the Crestwalls of Inverness. And it was generally accepted that people were scared, or people were even finding out the location of the Crestwalls of Inverness. But people knew it was Inverness for the time being, but nobody knew where. And this is knowledge which nobody even shared, not even passed down ear to ear. Only person who knew was the acting king, and he would, when he shared this information to the next leader, he would share it telekinetically, so nobody even overhear the location of where it could be. The last place they knew we need to contact was Crail. Crail was an old holy monastery of warriors of high esteem. An army could be built there to the standard which could rival Zargothrax at his fullest. But the issue was, Crail once made an agreement to never make an army, only give out a handful of warriors to become generals and leaders. The idea was they would never come to the strength they could rival the kingdom. But King Angus Fife and his elected generals and friends and close allies all agreed this agreement had to be dealt with. An army was needed, and the army which he had now would be destroyed in fighting Zargothrax. The last thing to be agreed on was Dundee was originally a dwarven kingdom, with the city on top being the trading hub for humans, orcs and all races. But with the rise of man, the kingdom was given to the humans, but a few dwarven residences still remained underground, a catacomb of tunnels, impossible to navigate unless you knew it. But they knew they had to be sealed off, because if they wasn't sealed off, there was an entrance into the castle, and all the dwarves must be evacuated because they will be tortured and killed for that information. Without the party's input, then everybody else agreed that the party must survive. If the castle was to fall and Dundee to fall with it, the players needed to survive. Yes, the king was more powerful, and his party held more power than our players could even hope for at the time being. They knew their power was needed to beat Zargothrax, and if anyone could beat Zargothrax, moment was the king. And if he failed, he needed someone who could get more powerful, grow in strength, to rival him another day. Push came to shove, there was evacuating the party as well, if it came to be. Before I even got a chance to push any further, the sound of war drums started appearing in the distance. Horns were blaring. There was the sound of heavy thuds on cobble. The army was coming. You could see the smoke and clearing from a distance. One of these scouts came back. He was bloodied. Armour barely holding to pieces, where it's been destroyed and caved in places. He was treating to his best that we could do at the time. He saw Zargothrax. He was walking down the street with a unicorn on leash. This unicorn, like any others, was not dead. It was purely alive, and it was the most majestic unicorn this guy's ever seen. It had a triple horn. I know being a triple horn is a very contrary to what unicorn is, but it was majestic. the hair and fur of liquid silver. Radiance gleamed from this unicorn. Obviously, this guy did not know the importance at the time and didn't really dive too much into detail. But Kaden, she was panicking at the description of that unicorn, as her mother and patron was a unicorn to a similar description, so she was scared. Angus got his weapons out ready. He donned his armour, a mighty warhammer, as in our swords were an impractical weapon. His wizards, they prepared incantations. The archers, they brought up braziers, set them lit, ready to fire arrows. But another thud started to appear in the distance. It was ominous and loud. But there was another thud around 5 seconds later. The party realised it was something walking. The size incomprehensible. And with it there was a dragging sound. They knew it could not be an ogre or a troll. There's nothing that size could make this noise. It sounded like the walls of the castle were being thudded by a large stone fist. The party gathered their weapons, as they knew conflict was about to rise. And as the guards were getting to the war to support the archers, the castle gate was already destroyed, as a fist went through it. Standing up was an undead giant. What horrors and cruel feats Zargothrax has done to make this army, we will not know. But it was a malicious thing. King Angus MacFife always believed he was the chosen hero, the leader to save Dundee. He always believed the prophecies was to be about himself, as it met his description, and also met his party's description. But, unfortunately, as he learnt soon later, fate is cruel and misleading. Zargothrax came in. Unicorns followed. Each had a dark, twisted leader sitting on top, guiding him into the castle. So Zargothrax was not riding his own unicorn. He had one following behind him, chained. It met the unicorn's description what the scout gave, and our player, Kaylin, sunk to her knees, as it confirmed that this unicorn was her patron, and by the fact, her mother. As Kaylin did not have the rosiest of backgrounds, as she was a mercenary for so long, but at some point she was adopted by a unicorn. The unicorn taught her the powers of the warlock, and made her so she could survive the harsh, cruel world. Now, Kaylin was surviving in honour of her mother, to see her mother chained up and led by the most vile men to have ever lived on this planet. So Kaylin dropped to her knees. She was in agony and shock at the sight to see her mother chained up. She shouted out her name, screaming out, Amandria. And what happened next is what broke her. Zargothrax pulled out a small, tainted dagger and slit Amandria's throat in front of Kaylin. Amandria fell to her knees, then collapsed to one side. The blood spilled into the soil, and an ancient seal was broken. Zargothrax felt a surge of power inside of him. He now knew he could kill Angus MacFife. In anger and rage, Kaylin ran forward, but she was stopped by her party, knowing she had no chance of beating Zargothrax, as King and his fife and crew put themselves in between her and zargothrax. Weapons drawn, they moved forward. Zargothrax's riders dismounted their steeds and joined them side by side as they charged into the fray. A small conflict began. Sometimes castles don't need besieged. If you can just kill the king, the castle will fall, and this is what happened. The fight continued for a few minutes. Blows were encountered, and zargothrax had a speed and agility a man should not have. He was freakish. With cunning, speed and reflexes, zargothrax dodged, evaded and redirected the blows of Angus. And this is where he started to gain an advantage. He started exploiting gaps in the attacks. And eventually the king realised and said out loud, "I guess the prophecy was not about me." And zargothrax, sword in hands, in one blow, removed the king's head, and it toppled to the floor. Aslov, who was watching this happen, realised he needed to get the party out, and casted an ancient spell, Maximus Yeetus, as he sent the party flying into the air. As there was main motion for this for half a second, they felt feather fall was cast on them, and they landed in the River Tay. Kaelin was hit by the shock of the cold water and the shock, a loss of her mother. She did not say. She sat there silent for 5 minutes as Kaelin didn't know what to do. Her mother was gone. Her mentor was gone. Bandar was there to reassure, and Banjovi, he tried his best to. Minutes later, they managed to find a Penum floating in the water with blows to the back. They managed to treat his wounds, and he spoke about tales of him fighting trolls and ogres, and managed to survive, but he fell down the side of the kingdom into the river. How he survived this, he doesn't know. But as they climbed that river, they found an old frail man walking down the stream to them. He was a nomad named Rutherford. With Dundee now fallen to the might of zargothrax, Rutherford knew he couldn't go there after having a discussion with our party, and he knew he had to guide them into the next session. Hope people enjoyed today's video. Bit longer than usual, but I hope people enjoyed. Trying out a new format today, and as always, if you like the video, give it a like and a comment. If you don't like the video, leave a like and a comment. It helps feed the algorithms. Also, if you're not subscribed, I would appreciate the subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be notified on new videos. Today was a new format. I thought I'll try using pictures instead of having my ugly mug, and I hope people liked or preferred it. For this, please leave a comment. If not, also leave a comment. As always, I hope your game sessions are long and full of jokes, and the crits are plenty. It's been good talking about this as always. See you next week.